Hello, today's lesson is 11-7. It's called Making New Shapes. You know how to make new shapes by combining shapes or separating shapes. Today you will learn how to make a new shape by cutting a shape apart and rearranging the pieces. Can you make a pentagon from a square? We had some practice shapes that we used for this lesson today, so I had made the shapes for the students. But you could still do this at home just by drawing a square and then cutting on one diagonal. So make a square just like the one in the picture here and then cut on one diagonal and try to move it around to make a pentagon. Pause the video while you try this. Okay, so you cut, and that's what your pentagon could look like. It is a concave pentagon. It's a concave pentagon, because one of the diagonals could be drawn outside the shape. We call it concave if a diagonal could go from one corner to another corner of the shape outside the shape. Okay, another one had a square. Try drawing a square and cutting two diagonals, just like in the picture. What else could you make? Or I'm sorry, how else could you make a pentagon? Can you use another square to make a pentagon if you cut two diagonals? It could look like that. 5 sides on that shape. It's certainly not what we think of as a pentagon, but since it has 5 sides, it does fit the definition of a pentagon. Start with a square, make a different kind of rectangle, because a square is a kind of rectangle. So use that same paper that you used for the last question, the square that had been cut into 4 triangles. Make a rectangle. It would look like this. This one is a rectangle to start with, and then we cut it to make a triangle. So one cut on one diagonal will make a triangle. It would look like this. And some people had a different answer that was correct. They matched it up on the shorter side. Okay, so parallelogram now. It's up at the top. Cut on one diagonal and then try to make some new shapes. And you can just talk about what new shapes you made. These were a couple, and I think there's some more correct answers as well. Okay, so a parallelogram now cut into 4 equilateral triangles. Draw it on your paper and cut it, and then try to rearrange them to make a large triangle. That's how it would look. And that was it for today.